Tonight, community members feeling frustrated and frightened after a sideshow in the East Bay takes a dark turn.
America, I need to tell you about a tragedy that perfectly illustrates everything wrong with parenting in this country. A 16-year-old boy named Jose Cuevas fell 75 feet to his death from a freeway overpass while watching an illegal street takeover in the Bay Area. But here's what's absolutely sickening. His parents have been celebrating and sharing his videos of these dangerous sideshows on social media for months. We're talking about parents who were proud that their teenage son was participating in illegal street racing events where people regularly get killed. Now, unfortunately, their boy is dead, and instead of taking responsibility, they're being treated like victims, while the real victims are the communities terrorized by these criminal gatherings.
Tragedy at a sideshow in the Bay Area hits home here in Southern California. We've learned the 16-year-old boy who fell to his death was from Harbor City.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This case shows exactly what happens when parents enable criminal behavior instead of teaching their kids right from wrong. Let me break down what happened at this illegal street takeover in Crockett, California. At 3:30 Saturday morning, hundreds of people were watching cars doing donuts at the intersection just off of Interstate 80. Jose Cuevas, a 16-year-old from Harbor City, somehow went past the safety barrier on the freeway overpass and fell 75 feet through a gap to his death.
Drone footage shows about 100 people watching as cars did donuts in the intersection just off the freeway in Crockett, and traffic backed up nearly onto the Carquinez Bridge. The CHP says 16-year-old Jose Cuevas died when he climbed over a concrete safety barrier, perhaps trying to jump between the on-ramp and the off-ramp.
Think about that. A 16-year-old boy was so caught up in the excitement of the illegal gathering, he attempted a dangerous stunt that unfortunately cost him his life. And this wasn't just some random accident. Jose was 400 miles away from his home in Harbor City, attending an illegal street takeover at 3:30 in the morning. How does a 16-year-old end up in a criminal gathering hundreds of miles away from home in the middle of the night? Where were his parents at? Here's where the story gets really disturbing. Jose's parents weren't just aware of his involvement in these street takeovers, they were actively celebrating it. His social media account, which his parents had access to and were sharing, were full videos of illegal sideshows.
At first, I didn't want to believe it because it's like I knew him for a while, so I didn't think it was true.
Our sister station, NBC Bay Area, covered the accident that took Cuevas' life.
His friend Andrew Lopez said he didn't want to believe it when he heard Jose had died, but the warning signs were there for months. Jose had been posting videos of himself at these dangerous events, and instead of stopping him, his parents were sharing and celebrating his posts.
I think it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic, and it's something that we're looking to prevent. We don't want to see this happen again, especially when it's tied to criminal activity that's so preventable.
But my question is, how do you prevent it when the parents are enabling the children to participate in illegal and dangerous activities? This wasn't a case about a rebellious teenager sneaking out against his parents' wishes. This was a case of parents who failed to set boundaries and actually encouraged their son to participate in criminal activity.
And these takeovers are very dangerous events.
Leland Aguera's son was close friends with Jose, who lived in Southern California.
Let's talk about the real impact these street takeovers have in these communities. Residents of Crockett have been dealing with these illegal gatherings for years, and they're fed up with the violence and chaos that they bring.
We don't have a police department. We have the sheriffs, and they come in when we call them, but it's usually too late. I feel like it's coming in off the freeway from Richmond and from Vallejo. That's the vibe. Those are the cars that we see that are involved in the sideshows. Julia
Dallo, who owns a small business nearby, says we don't have the police department, we don't have the sheriff, and when they come, we call, it's usually too late.
Prayers out to his family in this horrible time, and my prayer is that this is a stop, that they put a stop to this, because no one needs to ruin their life for something of this nature.
That's how many in Crockett are feeling after learning a Saturday morning sideshow led to the death of a 16-year-old boy from Southern California.
The community members are praying for Jose's family, but also demanding these illegal gatherings stop. Steve Nash, who opened up a barbecue restaurant just 3 months ago, said this.
As a business owner, you see it and you want the proper traffic to come through, and you don't want some of the influences of course, you say some of the sideshows and not really being supervised.
This tragedy exposes a much bigger problem in our society. Parents who have abducted their responsibilities to guide and protect their children. Instead of teaching Jose that street takeovers are illegal and dangerous, his parents were celebrating his participation in them.
A recent LAPD study found that 16 people died from street takeovers and street racing between 2020 in 2022.
The school is now putting out flyers about how to deal with grief, but where's the conversation about making good choices? Where's the discussion about dangerous, illegal street racing? This isn't an unknown risk. Parents have a fundamental responsibility to protect their children from dangerous situations, not enable their participation in them. When a 16-year-old is posting videos of illegal street racing events, that's not a time to hit the share button. That's a time for a serious conversation about consequences.
I feel like we're in the Wild Wild West here. Kids, it's not worth it. When you lose your life, it's not worth it. Please get yourselves involved in good things.
Unfortunately, Jose Cuevas' death isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern of parental failure that's destroying young lives across America. We have parents who are more concerned about being their children's friends instead of being their parents.
The CHP says they're doing their best to get a handle on Bay Area sideshows, and the agency says they've successfully stopped many planned sideshow events. But they admit responding to them once they've started is challenging.
Very often we see hundreds of people, and you may have 4, 5, 6. I mean, even if you have 10 officers showing up, it's far outnumbered.
Law enforcement can't be everywhere, especially if they're defunded, which is why parental responsibility is so crucial. When parents enable their children's participation in illegal activities, they're not just failing their own kids, they're contributing to a culture that puts entire communities at risk. Every parent who celebrates their child's involvement in street takeovers is actually part of the problem. America, Jose Cuevas didn't have to die. This 16-year-old boy would have been alive today if his parents would have done their job and taught him that illegal street racing is dangerous and wrong instead of celebrating it and participating in it. This tragedy isn't just about one family's loss. It's about a parental responsibility crisis that's destroying communities across America. When parents enable criminal behavior instead of correcting it, children die and communities suffer. Street takeovers aren't harmless fun. They're illegal gatherings that regularly result in death, injuries, and property damage. Parents who allow or encourage their children to participate in these events are failing in the most basic duty to protect their kids. The real victims here aren't just Jose's parents. They're the communities terrorized by these illegal gatherings, the business owners who can't operate safely, and the other children who are being influenced by parents who think criminal behavior is something to celebrate. We need parents who understand that their job is to guide children towards legal, productive activities, not enable their participation in dangerous criminal behavior. We need parents who say no when their teenagers want to attend illegal street racing events 400 miles away from home at 3:30 in the morning. Jose Cuevas' death should be a wake-up call for every parent who thinks enabling their kids' bad choices is the same as supporting them. Real support means setting boundaries, teaching consequences, and protecting your children from dangerous situations, even when they don't want to be protected. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.